One of my most miserable Lents was before I got ordained. I decided to give up all sweets. And this was just because I like my sweets. Sweets are sweet, I would say. So anyway, I was just surly and nasty about it. I mean, I just was unhappy about it and really craving the sweets. And so now Easter Vigil comes and goes, and immediately, within the hour after that vigil, I'm sitting at my house trying to consume a 13 by 9-inch pan of chocolate fudge. As I'm trying to do this, I'm thinking, what a waste. You know, what did it change me? All I did was what I did last year and the year before. Ever since I was a kid, I gave up sweets for Lent. And so when I came to that Lent, I thought, well, what are you going to do this year? Well, of course you're going to give up the sweets. And as I reflected on the part on it, I was like, you really didn't make a choice, did you? You could have said, I'm going to pray more. I'm going to dedicate some time to God. You didn't do that. You could have said, well, I'm going to put others first. I might give a little more of my time, treasure, and talent to someone else, to some other organization. You didn't do that either. Maybe you're trying to overcome a sin that you're addicted to or prone to fall. You didn't do that either. All you did was you did what you did before, and you did before that, and you did before that. You really didn't think about what you were going to do. You just did what, as a rote memorization, what you always did. You didn't make a choice. A couple of years, many years later, I was in a doctoral program, doing something about preaching. And I had everything done except the dissertation. And as I get through, a quarter of the way through the dissertation, I hit a roadblock, a serious one. And so then I was like, what am I going to do now? And so then I could spend a lot of time, effort to try and rectify the situation, try and get the dissertation back on track, and get a doctorate. Then I asked myself, why? Why do you need this? It's not going to let you preach any better. You're not going to have priests coming to you for advice to preach better. They're never going to let you anywhere near the seminarians. So why are you doing this? And so I said, no, I'm not going to do this. I made a choice. Rather than sleepwalk through and say, well, of course, you've already spent all this time getting a doctorate. Of course, you just go through with it. Instead, I stepped back and made a choice for what I really wanted to do. And I'm happier for it. The readings today talk about choices. Okay, Prophet Jeremiah. The days are coming when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. God has made this promise to the Israelites and to Judah for many, many, many years, all the way back to Abraham, going through the prophets, Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and all the rest of them, then through the Moses and the covenant in the desert and the covenant with David, etc., etc., etc. And all he had to do was just say, well, we'll do what we did before. Just sleepwalk through it and say, you know what we did last year? Just make it so again. But that's not what God is saying here. I'll make a new covenant. Not like the covenant I made with their fathers, because they broke it. This one I'll write it on their hearts. He's going to do something new and spectacular. He makes the choice once again to follow the Israelites. In the same way, in the first reading, or the gospel reading, Philip and Andrew says that the Greeks would come like to see Jesus, and Jesus says, now the hour has come. This harkens back to the wedding feast at Cana, when Mary, they run out of wine, and Mary makes the choice to go to Jesus and say they have no wine. And Jesus says, what is it to me and you? My hour has not yet come. she makes the choice, do whatever he tells you, and starts that process, because the hour is the hour when Jesus Christ will be crucified. So Mary made that choice at the wedding feast of Cana, and now that the Greeks are coming, now that the whole world is wanting to encounter Christ, Jesus has that choice to make. Will he go with the Greeks, or will he go with the Israelites and the road of the cross? He could easily say, okay, great, we're going to go with the Greeks, I won't be crucified, these people seem to be a lot more open to me, we're just going to leave off the Israelites and go where I'm wanted. Instead, he fulfills the role of salvation. Instead, he chooses to redeem you and me on the road to the cross. He makes that choice. We make that choice as well. It can be easy to say, well, I'll do this Lent what I did last Lent, and we're never really thinking about it. And so then as we sleepwalk through Lent, then we sleepwalk through the Easter, when we recommit once more to our baptismal vows. And we can make it just like, okay, yeah, I do it, let's go get some mud, let's go and have a party. Instead of thinking about saying, is this truly what I want to do? Do I truly believe that Jesus Christ rose from the dead? Do I really, truly want to reject Satan and my evil? Do I really reject his promises, or do I really want to, in my heart of hearts, want to listen to him? Do I really hold fast to what the church teaches? Rather than going sleepwalking and through it, okay, this is what we did last year. This Lenten journey is a time for us to really commit once more to our baptismal vows. To take seriously what am I doing to pray more? What am I doing to dedicate more time to God? To make that choice instead of, well, I'll do what I did last year. To make that choice of how am I going to put myself last and someone else first through almsgiving, rather than what I did last year. How am I going to make the choice to give up a certain sin, even if it was so hard that I didn't actually achieve it last year, so that when I get to this Easter Vigil, I can truly and honestly say I do.